Tonight, an NBC Bay Area exclusive, the Oakland Crime Stoppers program can't access its money. So why did the group and police keep offering rewards?
This came to our attention after a man's tip about an Oakland murder led to an arrest. But the tipster says he didn't get any reward money that was being promised by Oakland PD, up to 10 grand. Here's investigative reporter Candice Nguyen.
Oakland PD promised that money through a partnership with a group called Crime Stoppers of Oakland. We found the group hasn't been able to access its bank account for 2 years, but that hasn't stopped Oakland police from offering rewards. What started as an argument in the middle of the day quickly led to the June 2023 shooting death of flower delivery man Mateus Gallegos in Oakland. Police released this surveillance video asking for the public's help identifying Gallegos' killer. They also promised a reward of up to $10,000 for information leading to an arrest through a partnership with a group called Crime Stoppers of Oakland.
I had this gut notion where I was like, I know this individual.
NBC Bay Area is protecting this man's identity because his tip led to the arrest of Eric Locke Elvira, who was charged with murder and has pled not guilty.
I gave him the tip, and then a week later they did catch him.
Why did you decide to reach out to law enforcement?
No one needs to die over words being exchanged.
That same month, the tipster texted an OPD sergeant asking about how to collect the reward money. The sergeant said he would refer the information to Oakland Crime Stoppers. Their board, the sergeant said, would vote on whether to give him the reward and how much he would get.
Come July, I reach out to the sergeant again, like, hey, I haven't heard from you in a while. July, August, September, I reach out again.
Last September, the sergeant wrote back saying a Crime Stoppers board member had passed away, which caused a delay in providing award money. But after 14 months and 24 texts to the sergeant, the tipster still hasn't seen a penny of that money. At one point, the sergeant said he was embarrassed by the situation and that it paints a negative picture for the police department and investigators.
It was just kind of disappointing how police and public servants treat their citizens.
At Crime Stoppers, we know about crime victims.
Crime Stoppers is a national nonprofit that offers reward money to encourage people to cooperate with police. They told us the group calling itself Crime Stoppers of Oakland has never been part of the national organization and could compromise the good name of Crime Stoppers. Retired Judge Richard Carter is their legal director.
I'm outraged. That's inexcusable. That's not the way you run the Crime Stoppers organization.
We also found Oakland Crime Stoppers nonprofit status lapsed more than a decade ago, according to the Secretary of State's office. One of its board members tells us Oakland Crime Stoppers hasn't met in more than 3 years. And the last time they gave out any money was in 2021. The department says 2 people on Oakland Crime Stoppers board passed away, causing issues with accessing that money. They say the group has been locked out of their bank account since September 2022. We found Oakland police kept offering Crime Stoppers rewards after that in more than a half dozen high-profile cases.
You shouldn't promise something you don't have.
What do you think is the impact on people who may come forward in the future?
Oh, I think people would be very unlikely to come forward in the future.
In some states, that is a violation of deceptive trade practices, and I would worry that the Attorney General of the state of California might get involved. This has gone far too far.
For weeks, the investigative unit has requested interviews with Oakland police. They told us the account is now closed and communication was affected and there was never any intention to mislead the public. But the department never explained why it kept offering rewards. So we caught up with OPD's new police chief, Floyd Mitchell, at a public safety event.
Candice Nguyen with NBC Bay Area. Are you aware that OPD continued to advertise Crime Stopper awards after finding out that there was no money available? Don't you think the tipster deserves an explanation, the public?
This tipster says, sadly, he doesn't trust law enforcement anymore. And if he comes across another crime in Oakland and an advertisement for a Crime Stoppers award,
I'm keeping scrolling. Like, at that point, it's like, do I even care?
And to lose this public trust, This tool to solve cases, Carter says, is an insult to the community.
This is huge trouble, and they need to fix it now.
Carter says if he were advising OPD and Oakland Crime Stoppers, he'd tell them to put a moratorium on the program and all rewards, then figure out what's going on with Crime Stoppers board and their nonprofit status. Then he'd tell them to pay all their outstanding debts, including to this tipster. With the investigative unit, I'm Candice Nguyen, NBC Bay Area News.